Good evening. My name is Salud, and tonight I've written you another story. It's about a spy master who's been turned invisible and sent to spy on the ruler of a neighboring kingdom to see if they're preparing for war. I hope you rest well. Please take a deep breath and concentrate on the sound of my voice. Let's begin. You push open the heavy door to the laboratory, passing through to another world. Turning in place, you drink in the sight of the vials and potions. They gleam in the lamplight, a rainbow of jewel-toned colors encased in thick, bubbled glass. You see a beaker that twists, its best impression of an artistic vase. It's filled with bright pink liquid that looks like dissolved cotton candy. The room is filled with the hiss of steam and the gentle dripping of liquids. To your right, there's a row of tiny, delicate vials in red, orange, blue, and yellow. But when you look closer, they start to swirl with a pearl reflection, shimmering like they're filled with fairy dust. You hear the tick of a mechanical standing clock and the soft whirl of a centrifuge. Steam rises from an iron cauldron on the fire. And when you breathe in, it smells like fresh sage and peppermint candies. Brass instruments and the gold lettering of book spines gleam in the lamplight, catching and shining against dark leather bindings and mahogany wood tables. It looks like a painting when you step back and take it all in. Every written formula, every open book, and colorful liquid. Against the far wall, you spy a large hanging mirror and a letter with your name on it. You walk over, picking up the vellum and breaking the red wax seal. Hello. The letter begins. Drink the vial enclosed to begin your mission. It should take effect by the time you reach your destination. Getting in shouldn't be a problem with someone of your talents. You are to observe and report. Make sure to drink the whole thing. P.S. My test subjects tell me it has a calming effect, which should come in handy. Holding the vial, you feel a tinge of apprehension. You don't know the chemist who made the elixir personally, and they haven't been at the castle long, which makes drinking the potion risky, but orders are orders. The glass is cool in your hands, and you take a deep breath. You uncork the vial beside the letter and drink it down. It tastes like cold blackberry tea. The mirror across from the desk reveals only yourself when you stare into it, and for a moment you do, walking closer and peering at your reflection. You note the color of your eyes, the lines in your hand, how tall you stand, and the set of your shoulders. This is you realize, as the world perceives you. So much of your actions are driven by thought, by the mind, the gray space resting inside your skull that no one can see, save for the emotions you allow to flicker through your eyes when it suits you. Flexing the fingers in your hand, you roll your wrists, releasing the tension you have stored there. The muscles groan with satisfaction as you tilt your head to the left, then the right, feeling a long, pleasant stretch. It travels down along your ribs, swelling with your exhale and shrinking with your inhale. Finally, your neck relaxes, releasing your shoulders from their tension. Sticking a leg out, you lean into it, your eyes closing at the feeling of that pleasant movement, a stretch just for yourself and your well-being. When you finish, you go to the stables. The morning sun is bright compared to the laboratory you emerged from, and you blink up into it while you fasten your traveling cloak and your horse is readied. She's a beautiful chestnut mare, wilder than her handlers would like, but you love her all the more for it. Her saddle is made from soft white leather, and when you climb aboard, she snorts by way of greeting, and you pat the side of her neck. Then the two of you are off, galloping out through the open gates and on to the road. She moves underneath you, steady and graceful, and you feel the earth move beneath her hooves. The landscape changes as you urge your mare on. The rolling hills give way to fields of flowers, then sparse forests filled with young oak trees, rivers that babble, and long, vast stretches of plains filled with sheep and cows grazing in crowds. You stop for meals along the way. They feel like private picnics while your mare drinks from streams. You feast on cold sandwiches and meats, cheese with honey, and fresh apples you share with your horse. When you take the first swig from your flask, you realize a thoughtful soul filled it at the castle with delicious sparkling cider. It tastes like elderflower. The journey takes a week, and you revel in it. The solitude, the freedom to choose your path, and your traveling companion never complains. When you arrive in town, you stable your mare at the finest establishment, where she is given oats, fruit, and a heavy wool blanket. With a nod to the stable keep, you vanish into the night, moving through the streets as silent as a shadow. Your reflection wobbles in the puddles that form on the wet cobblestone roads, and you tighten your heavy traveling cloak around you. The hood is lined with soft fur, and you love the feeling of it brushing against your ears whenever you turn your head. The town is dark with narrow streets, but the wood and stone buildings look clean and well cared for. You smell the rain and the leather of your cloak, and as you pass taverns, voices of merriment drift out the windows. It sounds like your city, you realize. The same people, the same drunks, the same rain, all under the same sky. Something within you shifts, and a calmness settles over you like a blanket. You feel present, completely in the moment and aware of your body and breath. Rain mists across the bridge of your nose, and your fingers flex in your leather gloves. Breath in your lungs and the simple act of walking forward consume you. Notions and thoughts dissolve like vapor, turning into mist before they can materialize into something meaningful. You hear your cloak trailing behind you, the patter of rain against the street, and breathe deep, savoring the gentle expansion in your lungs. An exhale follows, and you feel deflated, tranquil. Then you pass a glass storefront window and see no reflection. You feel like a specter, and with a quiet, easy calm, you hold your hand up to your face. There is only air and the sight of the town in front of you. It's a curious sensation, not at all unpleasant. Your body moves, muscles and tendons stretching, but there's no visuals to guide you. Silently, you creep on cat soft feet and undo your cloak, laying it gently across a sleeping drunk napping beside a rain barrel. Your gloves join him, since you feel pleasantly warm. The air no longer hits you, it passes through you, on account of being invisible. The castle, your destination, looms ahead. The wet gray stone shines in the moonlight, and you stroll up the hillside it's on, moonbeams falling through you. Your steps leave soft imprints in the damp grass, and you smile at the thought of carpeted stone floors on which to prowl. Every secret, every story within this place will be yours. There's a servant's entrance in the castle gate, where you find an outdoor shelter for casks of wine. They're roped together, ready to be transported along with yellow hay for the knight's horses. You curl up amongst the barrels, on top of the hay. The rain slows to a gentle pattern, and the hay is soft and warm. You breathe deep once again, savoring the warmth and shelter you found. Tomorrow the adventure begins, but for now you're warm and weary. You breathe in, savoring the scent of old wood tinged with rich, fruity wines, the smell of fading rain, and even the hay. It tickles your nose in a warm, pleasant way and makes an excellent cushion, molding to every inch of you while you curl up like a child after a long day playing. Your journey flashes behind your eyes while your mind settles down. Beautiful forests and flower fields, rainbow sunsets, and animals grazing. Your eyelids are invisible, but you turn and face a dark corner, and it's close enough. There's a soft ache in your limbs spreading to your chest. The transformation has taken your energy, and now your body wants to sleep and adjust. Process the changes you've asked of it so it can serve you well tomorrow. Time passes in breaths, deep through your nose and then a soft exhale through your mouth. You count each breath, and then you are asleep, your mind slipping into the place of dreams. The morning sun warms your face, and you stretch like a rich person on a luxurious bed. Your yawn satisfies an ache in your jaw, and the gentle roll of your neck releases pockets of tension that settled into your bones while you slept. The dreams you had were deep and restful, an imagery of beautiful, vast forests linger in your awareness while you stretch your legs and curl your toes. You hear the snort of a nearby horse, the clatter of hoofbeats, and your soft hay pallet and wine barrels lurch forward. The servant's entrance comes into view once the horses turn, and you hear the gentle chatter of coworkers and the smell of rashers frying. Chickens cluck, and the rumble of wooden wheels beneath you is oddly soothing, so you lay back and watch the clouds drift by, feeling the sun on your face. There's something tantalizing about hearing and seeing the people around you, but knowing they can't sense you. You feel like a patron at an art gallery, detached but appreciating. The cart stops and you hop off, nimbly dodging the servants rushing to unload barrels and hay. You slip into the kitchens, following the smell of frying bacon and the sound of cracking eggs. There's heavy bowls of dough and batter, brown sacks of flour and sugar, and brass pots hanging from the ceiling. The smell is amazing, and there's a rush of warm, positive energy as the cooks and their assistants smile at each other while they run to and fro, making jokes and sharing warm smiles as they pass ingredients and utensils to each other. You sneak a few items off a passing breakfast tray, a miniature chocolate croissant, 2 ripe strawberries, and a blueberry jam tart. You eat them in small bites, hiding in a corner. After your snack, you stroll through the kitchens, having sips of coffee and fresh orange juice from unattended cups. A lone maple sausage is saved from the frying pan, along with a few bites of scrambled eggs and a broken cookie with big chocolate chips. By the time you find the exit, you're stuffed, and you take the stairs to the castle hall slowly, careful not to brush up against anyone. Sunlight pours in through stained glass windows, and when you reach the top, you peek through one, seeing the world damp and bright after last night's rain. Turning back to the floor you're on, you see the rugs and paintings are trimmed in a deep navy blue. Gold embellishments serve as accents on the furniture and staircase railings. You begin to wander, noting the staircases and mapping the castle in your mind. You study the focused faces of the servants. You'll need to scout a place to sleep eventually, and you're thankful that getting food will be no obstacle. Taking a flight of stairs up, you enter an art gallery on the second floor. Paintings of people and places long gone fill the walls, along with pottery on stands and beautiful plants that hang off every surface. The plant vines tumble down in slow motion, dotted with shy white blossoms. There are ornamental vases shaped like flowers, each filled with a clear blue liquid that seems to glow from within. A gold sculpture of an eagle in flight watches over them all, its wings spread. There is a collection of comfortable-looking ottomans against the far wall that should be long enough for you to sleep on. A nearby fire crackles merrily. It's possible you could scare a pair of lovers out for a midnight tryst, but that's fine. After all, castles are supposed to be haunted. Rounding a corner, you stumble upon an art class in session. 6 painters in gray smocks are hunched around a bowl of fruit. The sound of charcoal against their paper sounds like a chorus of progress, the gentle scraping of shapes being made. Taking a slow circle around the class, you see how each picture is different from where they're standing. Some drawings are very good, and some will be good with time, but what you notice is how different they are. No 2 drawings are the same, and it makes you smile. One of the artists looks over their shoulder, near where you're standing, so you press on. There's a long hallway of flowers ahead, scenting the air with their sweetness. You find a gardener, her long dark hair swaying behind her as she sings soft songs to the plants she waters, telling them to grow up big and strong. You see fat green leaves hanging out of chipped porcelain tubs with pink veins climbing through them. There's miniature trees with leaves the size of pumpkin seeds, so fine and tiny they look like they were done in needlepoint. You wander past, brushing up against the plants with unusual textures to see what they feel like. The plants continue as you walk, their own section of the gallery. It feels calming, having a slice of Mother Nature be so prevalent on the second floor of a cold stone castle. You walk further down, and the singing of the gardener grows quieter with each step. There are rooms and bookshelves and alcoves and servants' quarters, but none of them interest you. You're here to work, and the coffee from the morning courses through you, energizing you. There are 2 large wooden doors, twice as tall as you, at the end of the hall. 3 guards are posted nearby in fine blue tunics, the polished silver of their armor reflecting the shine of the morning sun. You suspect they're guarding the war room.